Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a look at a single but really compelling source.
Right. It's a 5-star review for a fantasy novel.
And it has a title that, well, it pretty much tells you the entire story right up front.
It really does.
We are zeroing in on I Fell in Love with a Dragon Queen, but physical contact means world destruction by Kurogami Daichi.
I mean, you can't just scroll past a title like that.
You really can't. It's a masterpiece of a setup. You know, it's dramatic, it's incredibly specific, and it just immediately lays out the highest possible stakes. So let's unpack this.
Absolutely. So our mission here is to really extract the nuggets from this review. Understand what made the critic give it a perfect score.
The narrative hooks, the themes.
Exactly. We want to get to the bottom of this juxtaposition of, intimacy and just complete catastrophic peril. Why does this story work so well?
Okay, so let's start with the basics. The world. The reviewer sets the scene for us in a place called Kalhar.
Mm-hmm.
It's described as a realm of scorched lands, majestic dragons, valiant knights, the whole 9 yards.
Your classic high fantasy setting. But the review stresses this fragile, uneasy truce between humans and dragons.
So it's a world that's kind of perpetually holding its breath.
Precisely. Kalhar isn't just a backdrop, it's a powder keg waiting to go off. And the review introduces the two people standing right on top of it. First, our human lead, Ban Leon.
A seasoned, battle-hardened warrior.
Yeah, and the review specifically mentions his deep scars.
Which tells you a lot, right? That's not just a physical description.
Not at all. It suggests he's not some bright-eyed adventurer. This is a man who has seen the worst of this conflict, who has probably participated in it for years.
His whole identity is wrapped up in being a soldier, in his duty.
And then, on the other side of that truce line, we have Essence Moon.
The Dragon Queen herself.
And not just a queen in name. The reviewer portrays her as this formidable leader, someone who is shouldering the entire weight of her people's history and their future.
So you have these two incredibly powerful figures, each representing, well, an opposing force.
Meeting on this political knife edge.
But then we get to the real hook, the thing in the title. It's not just politics or prejudice keeping them apart, it's physics.
Or magic. The review is clear. The central conceit is that even the slightest touch between them could awaken catastrophic forces.
We're not talking about a small explosion. We're talking about literal world-ending chaos.
Annihilation.
That is just the ultimate constraint. It makes their passion tragic from the very first moment. I mean, desire itself becomes a weapon of mass destruction.
And it forces you, the reader, to ask if any love could possibly be worth that price.
But there's another layer here, right? The review mentions an ancient prophecy.
Yes, and this is where the genius of the premise really shines. The prophecy hints that true peace requires some kind of unity between their two kinds.
There's a cosmic joke.
It is.
The very two people who could symbolize that unity are the two people who can't, under any circumstances, get close enough to, well, unify.
Their connection is literally tied to the mechanism of destruction. It creates this almost unbearable tension. How do you build trust? How do you find unity when the most basic human expression of it is completely off the table?
That juxtaposition, as you called it, must be what earned it top marks. Okay, so a catastrophic risk is one thing, but that can just be a gimmick. Let's shift to why the reviewer felt this was more than that. A 5-star rating means the characters really carried it.
They absolutely did. The critic highlights character development as one of Daichi's standout achievements. This is a character-driven story, through and through.
So Ban and Essence Moon aren't just, pieces on a chessboard.
Not at all. They're deeply human, deeply relatable, grappling with who they are under this insane pressure.
Let's talk about Ban's internal war. He's sworn to protect Kalhar, but his feelings for Essence Moon put him on a path that could destroy it.
His dilemma is just excruciating. The review explains that he has to wrestle with this fundamental hypocrisy.
I'm fighting to save the world, but the one thing I want could end it.
Exactly. What did that do to a person's sense of duty? Of self? He can negate everything he's ever fought for, simply by reaching out his hand.
And what about Essence Moon? The review paints a really compelling picture of her, too.
It does. She's not portrayed as some distant, untouchable monarch. She's a leader carrying this heavy mantle of her past, her lineage, her people's expectations.
The burden on her must be immense.
It is. It's not just about guarding her own heart. Any sign of weakness, any hint of this forbidden connection could cause a political crisis among the dragons. They could see her as a traitor.
Her position demands absolute, unwavering strength, but her heart is pulling her toward this this incredible vulnerability.
Vulnerability that is a massive political liability for her.
Which brings us to the big themes: love versus duty, sacrifice. The reviewer must have felt these were handled with, real mastery to give it 5 stars.
Oh, absolutely. The tension is explored masterfully. It's not just a plot point. It's a philosophical question posed to the reader. What would you really give up for love?
And in this case, the sacrifice isn't a one-time thing. It's constant.
That's the key insight from the reviewer. Their love story is an exercise in continuous active denial. Every second they are together, they are making a sacrifice.
They can't offer comfort. They can't have that impulsive touch that reaffirms a bond.
They have to fight for peace, not with swords, but with radical self-control. That's the sacrifice. It's a living, breathing thing that defines their entire relationship.
That's a fascinating way to look at it. The empty space between them becomes more significant than any embrace could ever be.
It makes every shared glance, every careful word, carry enormous weight. And this forces another theme to the forefront: trust.
Of course, if you can't rely on physical reassurance, trust is everything.
And the review notes that Daichi just expertly weaves this in. They have to build trust not just with each other, against all odds, but somehow build it between their people too.
That's a great takeaway for you listening. This is a story about how trust can and must transcend the physical.
Exactly. The reviewer suggests this is perfect for readers who love that deep psychological and emotional investment. It forces everyone, the characters and the reader, to define love in a completely new way.
Let's pivot a bit to the craft, the actual writing. The review calls it elegant and immersive. What does that mean in practice?
Well, the critic points to Daichi's prose being highly visual. It's the kind of writing that doesn't just tell you about Kalar, it drops you right into it.
So you can really feel the heat from the scorched lands, see the scale of the dragons?
Yes, and you can feel the emotional weight in the air during their secret meetings. The description makes the tension almost palpable.
Now, in a lot of high fantasy, the world building can be a bit much. Like you need a textbook to keep up.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But the reviewer praised this aspect specifically.
Oh.
Yeah. The world building is intricate, for sure. There's a prophecy, a truce, a magic system, but it's not overwhelming. It's all delivered in service of the emotional core.
So it's accessible, even if you're not a die-hard fantasy reader.
That's the idea. The rules of the world reinforce the character's dilemma. They don't distract from it.
What about the pacing? With stakes this high, it seems like it would have to be relentless.
It is, but it's also balanced. The review says the pacing is handled expertly. You have these incredibly high suspense moments.
Like when they might accidentally brush hands or a political enemy gets too close to the truth.
Exactly. Those moments are frequent, but they're punctuated by these quieter, reflective passages. It gives the characters, and you, the reader, time to breathe and actually process the insane consequences of every choice.
That's smart. Constant tension can be exhausting.
It can. This way, the impact of the high-stakes moments is even greater.
Okay, here's a really interesting point the reviewer brings up. The romance develops pretty quickly. In a lot of stories, that can feel unearned, but the critic here actually defends it. How?
By tying it directly back to the urgency of their situation. Think about it. When the fate of the world literally hangs on your every move, time gets compressed.
Like people who fall in love in a war zone.
Precisely. The constant extreme danger lends an incredible credibility to their feelings. Every moment could be their last, not because of some outside enemy, but because of their own connection.
So it forces them to be emotionally honest instantly. There's no time for games.
None. The constraint accelerates their emotional bond at a breakneck speed. It makes the relationship feel vital, necessary, and completely organic, even without the physical development you'd normally expect.
So putting this all together, the plot, the characters, the craft, who is this book for, according to the review?
Well, first and foremost, fantasy fans who want a really rich emotional core. If you value character growth and introspection just as much as you value dragons and magic, this is for you.
Makes sense. And second,
readers who just love high-stakes drama. This is the ultimate love against all odds story. The choices these two people make have a direct global impact. The stakes are as high as they get.
And I guess finally, people who are fascinated by the dynamic between humans and mythical creatures.
Especially when those creatures are given real political and psychological depth. Daichi seems to blend the fantastical with very profound, very human drama.
So the final verdict is clear. 5 out of 5 stars. What's the reviewer's closing statement on the book's place in the genre?
The novel is summed up as a powerful reminder of the complexities of love, especially when it's bound by duty and expectation.
It's more than just a love story.
It's an intellectual exercise in restraint and sacrifice. The review concludes that it's a stellar addition to the fantasy genre, one that will leave you both enchanted by the world and deeply introspective about the nature of connection itself.
Wow, okay. So to recap for everyone, we've really extracted the core of it, the existential tension between Ban and Essence Moon,
The unforgiving rule that physical contact means world destruction.
and the deep themes of sacrifice and trust that drove that perfect critical score.
You should now have a really full picture of this novel's appeal and why critics loved it, all just from digging into one insightful review. It's a remarkable idea, putting love and all of creation on opposite sides of a scale.
It really is, and that brings us back to that ancient prophecy you
The
mentioned.
one about unity.
Yeah. If the world requires the unity of humans and dragons for peace, and these two are supposed to be the agents of that unity, yet any physical intimacy guarantees destruction.
Then what does that mean for the nature of peace itself? Is the true test of their love not resisting the touch, but learning how to communicate, how to lead their people together in a way that completely transcends the physical? Maybe the most powerful unity is the one you achieve through painful, absolute separation.
A phenomenal thought to end on. Thank you for diving into the world of Kael'thar with us. We'll see you on the next deep dive.